in the year of 1967. We move forward a couple of years. Now, this year I'm 14 years old, and God gave me a night vision at that time, which was kind of scary because I wasn't ready to go. I mean, I wasn't born again. I hadn't went through the plan of salvation, and I'm pretty sure this is why it was given to me. But the great thing about this night vision here, there's scenes in there that at 14 we hadn't been to church in years, and I think after this night vision here, I taught my mama in going back to church because we'd been out a while because we moved to Missouri. When you move them around, you kind of lose and get in sync with what you're doing. And but this in 1967 the scenes began of the night vision that I was in the house and I heard a ruckus. And I remember running outside and I seen planes, and there was kind of like a war going on. Now, I didn't know, I hadn't read the scriptures, there'll be a war going on in Israel at the coming of the Lord. And but anyway, I seen that, so I got the perception of that. Then immediately when I looked to the east, the sky began to split and began to open up. And as it was opening up, it was getting brighter and brighter. And there was a terrifying, hurting feeling right here. Because even as a sinner, I knew I wasn't ready. I also perceived it's the end of time. This is the coming of the Lord. And in the scene, the vision part, I remember running in and trying to find a place to hide. I didn't know Scripture said people would be trying to hide when that happened. So there's a lot of scenes with this that Scripture yet that I had never read. And so it was, I want to tell you, if this day ever catches you in that situation at the coming of the Lord and you're not ready, it's going to hurt right here. You know why it's going to hurt right here? You'll know here you're not ready. Now, what's terrifying, here's some things that happens in our lives. Everybody goes through situations of life, and we have situations to come up, whether it's through the death of a loved one, through an event of our life that hurts us so bad that all your pleasures, all the pleasures in this life mean nothing. And I don't care if you're a sports addict. I don't care if you're a party goer. When you have a hurt right here that bad, it takes it out of you. It takes that eagerness for those things out of you. You lose interest in everything. And it's a horrible event that caused that to happen to us. And but here's the bad thing about this. I knew in the vision part, this is the coming of the Lord. It's over with. And I'm hurting right here for the fact that I've waited a day too late to seek God. I knew that. If you wait to that day and you feel that pain, it'll be the worst day you have ever experienced. Worse than the death of a loved one. Worse than any event in your life that's ever done you like this. Because you'll know this, it's over with. And that was terrifying. I think the Lord gave me that to give me a warning because He had some purposes of planning ahead of time on this, and He had to get my attention. And here's a scripture that I didn't know was in there that's in Revelation 6:14. And the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together. That's about the way the scene looked, except I didn't know that scripture verse was in there at that time. And another event scene that Apostle Paul wrote down here is in 2 Thessalonians 2:8, when the Lord, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of His mouth and shall destroy with the, notice the words, brightness of His coming. As that began to open and part, it was brighter than sunlight. And of course, I began to run and hide, and I didn't know that scripture was there where it says they'll be run and call for the rocks and mountains to fall and hide us from Him, you know. And so those events fit in with scripture text. And it was a scary situation. That's when I believe I taught my mama into going back to church up there at Hickman Pentecostal Church. And I believe the church located, I'm on the corner there. Now, I got my mama going back.